I never believed in curses. I used to think every ghost story was just a tired security guard's imagination, but that was before I took the night shift at Westbridge Mall, the same place where people whispered about missing workers, flickering lights, and something that moved when you weren't looking. When I got the job, I thought I was lucky. Good pay, easy hours, one building. I didn't realize the mall had its own rules, and that breaking them could cost more than your job. The manager, Mr. Hensley, told me on my first day, check cameras, do hourly rounds, lock the doors at 5 a.m., that's it. But the janitor, a man I only saw once, handed me a different list. A list of rules that didn't make sense. I followed them, mostly, and somehow I survived my first night, but something followed me home. For weeks after I quit, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I'd see mannequins, not just standing still, but watching. Sometimes I'd hear faint footsteps outside my door. Once my phone lit up at 3:06 a.m. with a message from an unknown number. Rule 12, don't leave before your shift ends. I deleted it immediately, but my blood turned to ice. A few days later, I got a call from Mr. Hensley himself. Hey, he said, his voice tight. You remember those rules the janitor gave you? I froze. Yeah, he sighed. We lost another guard last night. I didn't want to get involved again, but he sounded desperate. Just one night, he said. We need someone who knows what to expect, please. My rent was due, and I hadn't found another job yet. Against every instinct screaming no, I said yes. When I arrived, the mall looked different. The lights were dimmer, the air heavier. The janitor wasn't there this time. Only Mr. Hensley, who looked like he hadn't slept in days. He handed me a new paper. Another set of rules. These weren't the same. They were longer, stranger. Updated rules for the night shift. 1. Check cameras every 10-30 minutes. If you see static on more than 2 monitors, leave the office immediately. 2. Don't speak to the janitor. If he appears, it's not him anymore. 3. The mannequins in the clothing stores move closer each night. If one ever reaches the security office, your shift is over. Forever. 4. The escalator hum means it's waking up. Don't watch it. Don't even listen. If you hear typing in the closed electronics store, cut the power for 10 seconds. 6. If you see a child on the cameras after 2 a.m., turn off all monitors. Children don't belong here. 7. If your reflection smiles before you do, break the glass. Between 4:30 and 5 a.m., the mall will try to confuse you. Trust your watch, not the clocks. 9. Never, under any circumstance, answer a voice calling your name. 10. When the mall goes silent, hide. I stared at the paper, my mouth dry. What happened to the last guard? I asked. Mr. Hensley didn't answer. He just whispered, don't break the rules, and left. The silence that followed was unbearable. 12:10 a.m. The first hour was quiet. Cameras showed empty halls, frozen mannequins, dark storefronts. I tried to distract myself by checking the feeds every 10 minutes, just like before. Then on camera 9, the play area, something shifted. A shape moved behind the small carousel. At first, I thought it was a trick of the light, but then a child's head peeked out, pale, smiling. My stomach dropped. Rule 6, turn off all monitors. I reached for the switch, but the child waved, and the lights in the play area flickered. I hit the power and all screens went black. For 10 minutes, I sat in total darkness, breathing hard. When I turned the monitors back on, everything looked normal again. The child was gone, but one of the mannequins had moved closer to the office hallway. 1:23 a.m. The escalator started humming. I could hear it, faint but steady. I tried to ignore it, focusing on the paper in front of me. Then, the lights above the food court flickered once, twice, and the camera there went static. Rule 1. If you see static on more than 2 monitors, leave the office immediately. I checked the others. 2 were already fuzzy, then a third. I grabbed my flashlight and stepped into the hallway. The silence was deafening. The hum of the escalator followed me, echoing down the corridor like a heartbeat. Then I saw it, the janitor, mopping near the entrance. He looked up slowly. Didn't think you'd come back, he said, smiling. I froze. Rule 2. Don't speak to the janitor. If he appears, it's not him anymore. I tried to turn away, but he started walking toward me, dragging the mop. The sound, wet fabric sliding on tile, grew louder. Why'd you leave us last time? He asked softly. His eyes were wrong. Too dark, too empty. He reached out, hand pale, trembling. I stepped back, and his grin widened. "Shift's not over," he hissed. The lights flickered, and he vanished. Tournirem. I ran back to the office and slammed the door. The cameras flickered again. On one feed, I saw something moving in the clothing store. Mannequins. They were turning, all facing the same direction, toward the office. One of them was holding something in its hand. A piece of paper. I zoomed the camera in. It was a rule sheet. My rule sheet. I turned around and my breath caught. On the floor near the door was another paper. Not printed, handwritten. Fresh ink, still wet. It said, "Rule 11, you can't quit twice." For a while I sat frozen, staring at that paper, trying not to believe it was real. Then the sound of typing. Keys clacking, rhythmic and fast. Rule 5. If you hear typing in the closed electronics store, cut the power for 10 seconds. I ran to the control panel and flipped the breaker. The lights blinked out. The typing stopped. But in the darkness I heard breathing, slow, deliberate, right behind me. I turned on the flashlight. No one there. When I looked back at the breaker, the switch was already back on. 3:07 a.m. I tried to call Hensley, no signal. The phone line was dead. The mall seemed alive now, breathing, whispering through the vents. Every sound felt intentional. Every shadow seemed to move. Then the intercom crackled to life. A soft, distorted voice said my name. Rule 9. Never answer a voice calling your name. I covered my ears. The voice grew louder, clearer. My own voice now. Don't ignore me, it said. I know you're there. Then laughter, echoing through every speaker in the mall. 3:44 a.m. The mannequins had moved again. One stood right outside the office, its hand pressed against the glass. Its head was tilted, almost curious. Then slowly it raised one finger and pointed behind me. I turned, and the reflection in the monitor smiled before I did. Rule 7. Break the glass. I grabbed the flashlight and smashed the monitor. Sparks flew. The screen died. But in the reflection of another camera, I could still see the mannequin, now inside the office. I screamed and stumbled back, but it didn't move. It just stood there, pointing at the wall clock. 4:29 a.m. Then it tilted its head again and disappeared. Rule 8 said the mall would try to confuse me between 4:30 and 5. And right on time, the clock started changing. Backward, forward, then stopping entirely. I clutched my watch. It said 4:36. I decided to trust it, but the mall had other plans. The hallway started stretching, bending like reflections in water. Doors appeared where there hadn't been any, and somewhere far away I heard a child laughing again. Only this time, the laugh was closer. The sound bounced off the walls, circling me. I backed into the office, shaking. Then the intercom clicked again. The same child's voice whispered, "You broke the rules." The monitors turned on by themselves. Every camera now showed the same thing. Me, sitting in the office, staring at the screens. But in the reflection, I wasn't alone. Something was standing behind me. I turned and saw her. The woman from the mirrors, hair covering her face, eyes hollow and endless. She reached out, her voice soft and familiar. "You shouldn't have come back." I tried to run, but the door wouldn't open. The walls pulsed, breathing, whispering my name over and over. I dropped to the floor, covering my ears. Everything went black. When I woke up, it was morning. Sunlight spilled through the glass doors. Mr. Hensley was standing over me, his face pale. "You're lucky," he said quietly. "Most don't make it through a second night." He handed me my bag and said, "Go home. Don't come back." I didn't argue, but as I turned to leave, he added one last thing. "The mall doesn't like goodbyes." That was 2 months ago. I moved across the city, changed my number, tried to forget. But last night I woke up at 4:29 a.m. My phone screen glowed with a new message. Rule 13, the shift never ends. And from the hallway outside my apartment, I swear I heard the hum of an escalator.